Well, welcome everybody to probably our favourite cycle ride throughout the whole of Snowdonia, and this one ties in with the others really, centering around Dolgellau. So this one goes from Dolgellau round Cadair Idris, and so we're starting here on the map in the top right hand corner. You can see where that little picture is. So we started in a car park on the Mawddach trail that's about a mile or so outside of Dolgellau. There are no toilets there. The toilets are a little bit further back, but we were a bit later in the day. But it's not very far, and we'll start off cycling down into Dolgellau, and then we'll take the two-in road which heads off past down southwest past the base of Cadair Idris and then up, and then you'll see down right at the bottom there when we've descended that at one of our highest points we can then turn right and descend through the Cregennan estate, and we stopped at the Cregennan Lakes there, one of the most beautiful parts that we've got. Then there's a brutal descent that is very, very steep with lots of sudden gates on it to be very careful of, but you wouldn't want to do it in the reverse direction. That joins us back with the Mawddach trail, and then we turned left and headed into Barmouth so that we could have some lunch. It's a lovely bit of a route on the sand dunes there, and then we just turned round back, rejoined our route from the left hand side there of the screen, and then followed the coast, which is the easiest and prettiest bit of route, back along the Mawddach trail back to where we started. And it's got toilets on the way. There's plenty of places to stop. You can, if you've got some tea with you, you can stop and have that. So let's just have a look at the route, at how it pans out. So we've started in that car park that's just outside. Now I've kept this at almost normal pace because you have to just cross the main road here, and it can be really busy at certain times, but it's literally just a quick crossing over, and then that'll get you back onto the Mawddach trail on the other side of the road. It's pretty busy this close to Dolgellau because a lot of kids will come up out of Dolgellau and then just head up through the town and go fishing, so where it joins the river. But say this bit can be quite busy, lots of walkers and other things and prams, but just look at the quality of the surface here. It's more gravelly, but if you've got a gravel bike or a hybrid, then you'll have no problem whatsoever. I wouldn't recommend doing it on much less than about 25 mil tyres. So we've just stopped by the cricket ground and we're about to head down into town, and I've kept this at a reasonably normal pace because it can actually be quite tough in the town. So we're going to head down, you see a car park here, but it's quite expensive for the day, so I wouldn't stop and park your car there. So we're going to turn right through the town. It's one way almost all the journey through the town. So we're just following our way around back to the two-in entrance. Now it's slightly uphill all the way, but if you head out, I don't know whether you can see just up here as we go through quietly, you can see just that white van, white minibus, and we're going to descend up there, or ascend up there, and that's our son who's just overtaken us. Now this bit is several miles long and it's pretty steep all the way. Now that's my idea of steep. It's not too bad for those of you that cycle regularly, but it is fairly tough, I would say. So if you're not used to long climbs, it's not, I think the bit that catches you out is literally the distance. It just seems to go on and on forever. So it's a good climb, and it gives you quite a good workout. So you possibly, if you're not used to that, you will have to stop along the way. But we soon leave the houses of Dolgellau alone, have a quick break, have a cup of tea, maybe a sip of water and a couple of jelly babies, and then you head on up the hill. There's a bit of building work been going on at that house on the left, and when we did it a couple of years beforehand, there were scaffolding pipes all over the place, so just watch out. And occasionally at places along this road you will find that the road surface itself has collapsed away on the left hand side, so don't allow yourself to get pushed over too close to the edge by the cars. But as we head on up the hill, there are occasional bits where it levels out a little bit. But this wall on the left-hand side does seem to box you in a little bit. But there's stunning views as they appear, and you can see parts of Cadair Idris and some of the other hillsides that are around. So we're going to start ascending now, and this is quite a long, hard climb really. Watch out for where the road surfaces collapse. Just up here on the left-hand side, you'll find that there's occasional rocks have fallen out of the wall, and there's one place beside a house where there's just an enormous hole, and someone's put a traffic cone or something beside it. So just watch out around here. It's just here. It's fairly brutal if you went off the edge there. Now, when we did this a couple of years ago, we actually snapped a chain on the Tandem around this point. It wasn't through a misalignment of the front changer, it was just at the back, and the chain was tired, but on a Tandem it could be fairly heavy going on the chain. On the left-hand side of us at the moment there is a caravan site. Can't imagine how unpopular you'd be dragging a caravan all the way up this single track road, and if you miss your place there's absolutely nowhere to turn around. We're now getting towards the car park for Cadair Idris, so we stopped and had another quick drink, but there were no toilets there at all. Oh yes, there are. There are toilets there, but they were closed on the day because of COVID regulations, so there were no toilets available to us. Okay, let's get going again. That's a hotel. And the scenery at this point begins to get a little bit more dominated by bracken and others. And then you get these little descents in the middle, which are quite fast and a lot of fun. That was the Cadair entrance there, so the Cadair car park is another place you could start on this if you wanted, but you should pay. And there's an overflow car park there, so there's always parking available halfway up. So there's a bit of a descent, and then you'll have to climb back up again towards Cregennan, and it's the Cregennan estate that we're heading for. Some lovely old bits of woodland around, and signs of the past, that palimpsest of previous history. Now as we get nearer to Cregennan, you find that the hillside on the left of us starts to rise up, and occasionally it's got some huge boulders on it, and occasionally you see where one of those has rolled down the side and gone plummeting through the wall into the field on the right. I doubt it will happen while you're cycling along, but then we get to the Cregennan estate and you have to start going through the gates. But what I can say is the quality of the road surface within the estate is spectacular, and you'll see how that's different on one of our other routes when we go back to Cregennan, but from the other side. It's a really nice quality route. A lot of cyclists have used it. We didn't see too many on our day, but it's nice and open. When the sun is shining, it's glorious. As you can see, barely another car on the road. Really, really lovely. And this is right at the end of July. But what you will find is gates. There are gates, and not so many at this end. But as we get nearer to the Bird's Rock and the hills, we find that the gates start to appear one by one. But we first need to turn off this main road. So here we go, onto the main part of the farm, Cregennan farm. short descent, and then this right-hand turn is the one that takes us to the lakes. It's well marked, there's a big signpost there, and it's a great place to stop. Lovely views around. Didn't really do much with the GoPro at that moment, I apologise. But we stopped. It was pretty windy, as you can see on the day. The clouds are whipping past, but off we go. This bit's fairly level actually. It wasn't too bad. A bit of ascent and a bit of descent mixed in among each other, but the road surface, as we said, was so spectacular. But it is a bit of a nuisance with all the gates that need to be opened and closed. But as you start heading down here, you find that the vista starts to open up and the views get better and better. You could go quite fast here, but I would avoid it because there are so many twists and turns, you never know quite what car's around the corner. And here we come up to the lake, another gate, and the lake is great because it's got plenty of parking there, so again you could start at the top there. There's a large car park, pay and display. But it's also got some toilets, but nowhere to buy food. But there was a freshwater tap, I think, available. So here's the lake, Cregennan Lake. It's a really great place actually. It makes a nice day out for a bit of a walk around. So when you start off, just be very careful, because you go round the lake and then it descends like over the side of a cliff. It's very, very fast with tight bends and sudden gates right the way across the road, and then you hit the main road, which is really busy. But then you turn off right and it's assigned to a Christian Outward Bound centre. You pass through that and then you get back onto the Mawddach trail. So we're now heading up the Mawddach trail. Again, we're near Barmouth, so again there's going to be lots and lots of bicycles here. And we follow parallel with the railway and we go over the long bridge into Barmouth. Do be careful there, there's a lot of people on it. Then you descend up and then a rapid descent down into the coastal town. And we just went off around the edge towards the sand dunes. Stopped and had some lunch in the dunes. And then started heading back into town. That fine little bit where you just pop off the side, drop down, back over the bridge, and then you're going to go left almost immediately at the end and get onto the Mawddach trail. So here we go. A few gates along the trail on the way, but they're pretty good. There's a lot. Occasionally you get horse riders down there, but you can see the quality of the surface. It's gravel. It's beautiful on the left actually. Lots to see. Some big houses and various other things. Just watch out for the people that walk on one side and their dogs are on the other, and they're attached by a lead across the road. But lots of picnic places. It's a very, very beautiful ride back. The scenery is stunning. Very easy, very level. Set of toilets just here, which is only a few kilometres north of where we parked, or south of where we parked. And then we head back and we'll be back home almost immediately. Here we go, and we can put back on. So there's a summary of the route, starting in the top right, heading right into town of Dolgellau, then up on that long two-in road, right the way up, then sweeping, just as we get to the bottom of the screen in the middle there, sweeping down to Cregennan Lakes, the rapid switchbacks as we descend down to the main road, a quick pop into Barmouth if you want, and then back along the Mawddach trail. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you on another route that's not very far away from there. Okay, take care and see you again soon. Bye.